going on, everybody? Out here walking, get my walk on. I stopped over there to the bench to take a break. Um, this video today is just a reminder. Oftentimes we got to remind ourselves to be proud. Be proud of yourself. You know, a lot of us, the last person we think about is ourselves. We always want the best for this and that one, and you know, we wind up neglecting ourselves. I wanted to get out here and get a little bit of exercise, take this walk. I'm down here. Some of y'all may be familiar with this little area. I ain't been over here in a while, but I like it. It's got a little path. You see the path? Got a little path. Come around here and walk, ride your bike. That's gonna be the next thing. I'm gonna get me a bike because I'm not gonna let nothing stop me. I'm not gonna let nothing stop me. I don't have my driver's license anymore right now. But you know, I'll get them back. But I'm not gonna let that stop me from doing the things that I need to do for myself. You know, I still gotta be healthy. I still gotta make sure I maintain those three things: the physical, mental, and the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. Your physical, mental, and spiritual health is very, very important. You gotta make sure you're on it. You know, no matter what happened, what goes wrong, whatever the situation is, you gotta make sure that you take care of that, take care of yourself. I usually drive up here to this spot here, but let me check over here in the shade so I can see who's in here. What's up? Welcome. Can't quite see your name, but welcome. Appreciate you coming and checking me out. Let y'all see that area. Used to drive up here. That's the little park over there for the kids. And this is the area that I walk around. I hope y'all can see it. I just see a glare over here. But they have the baseball field, football field over that side. And you know, I just come out here just to get my exercise on and just to keep moving. But I wanted to have a conversation anyway. Like I said, oftentimes, like we get so caught up with trying to make sure everybody else is okay. You know, between your spouses, your kids, your parents, and a lot of times you neglect yourself. And me personally, I've gotten to the point I just turned 54 years old, and I have went back and looked over my life, and I spent most of my life trying to make sure everybody else was okay, and it ended up causing an issue with yourself. And what I mean by that is, if it ever get to the point where you're in need of that reassurance or that push and you don't have the backup, the foundation, the people that's going to ride or die for you when you're in that time, you're going to find yourself sort of like how I am, like, going through a period of depression and, trying to work yourself out of it. Now, I got to give credit to God because if it wasn't for Him, like, I don't know where I would be. Just the teachings, the things that I learned growing up is the only thing that's kept me with the strength that I have. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating. But the thing is, I I want to have this conversation because I know somebody's gonna come through and watch this video that may be younger or maybe my age. You know, it's okay to be proud of yourself. It's okay to make some moves that's exclusively for you. And everybody is not gonna like it. But one thing that I know for sure, we all have a life of our own. Let me make sure I'm volume up in my service. Okay, yeah, we all have a life of our own. Uh, if you go back in time, we all had hopes and dreams and goals, and sometimes those those goals or those dreams go left due to circumstances or whatever like that. But it's never too late. It's never too late to get to where you need to be. I've come across a couple of people that was in their 50s, 40s, and 50s that decided to go back to school and further their education and graduated and actually did better than what they thought they would do. Being out of school for so long. So um, it's okay even to start over. Even to start over. With relationships, sometimes you be in relationships for a long time and things don't work out. And, you end up, breaking up, then you have to start all over again. A lot of people stay in situations because they don't want to start all over again. They just, they stay and in some cases put up with a lot of nonsense. But, you have to make a decision for yourself to say, I'm better than that. I can do better for myself. And it's not even just with relationships, with your health. Like I said, me personally, I let myself go because I let, depression take, more control over my life than it needed to be. So I'm in the process of now of trying to work my way back. But of course, there's obstacles. Like I said, recently I just lost my license due to my vision issue and having to. I can get back, but I have to have these special kind of glasses that's $4,000. So, but here's the thing: I'm not going to focus on that. I'm not going to worry myself about that. There's still things that I can do for myself. Like I said, I just walked a whole mile up here to this little park area. I usually get in the car and drive up here, but I walked up here myself, and I done a couple of laps around this little track over here, and I'll probably go back and I plan to do some stuff on TikTok also, just kind of just talking and encouraging. One thing about life, you learn. You learn, and as you learn, you should teach. But listen, everybody is not going to be open for your teachings. Some people want to learn things the hard way, and they feel like, especially if you're not on top, right? I heard somebody say, LL Cool J, I heard him say the other day, that he listened to people on top, and he listened to other people. And I like that because here's the thing. There's somebody that has not made it to the top, But why? Why? It wasn't because of effort, maybe. But if you listen to him and you hear that story, you'll find out, circumstances. We all know life be life, and sometimes, going in the wrong direction, getting in trouble, whatever. But here's the thing: wisdom can come from all different directions. You don't have to necessarily have a rich, established person to give you knowledge and wisdom. So I like what he was saying, and I go by that myself. Like I said, I spent most of my life trying to make sure everybody else was okay, and in a lot of cases, neglecting myself. You know, me being proud of myself was knowing that I helped elevated somebody else. That was my life. And that's fine, but here's the thing. The only thing that I could say I made my mistake is I didn't commit enough time to myself. I didn't stop to make sure that I was okay. I was all in and making sure everybody else was okay. And you find yourself, like I said, I just turned 54 myself. And I find myself, and it's not too late, it's not too late, but I find myself looking back saying, dang, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. I wish I would have, did something different. Because of course you had situations where people was using and taking advantage of your kindness and stuff like that. Here's the thing. I don't take back anything that I have done for anybody, because everything that I did out of love and care. But like I said, my only regret is that I didn't take more time to focus on things that could have helped me, you know, and that's not selfish. That's not selfish, because it goes back to what I just said. Listen, God gives us all individually a life to live, and our life shouldn't consist of making sure everybody else is okay and neglecting ourselves. You know, uh, He want for us each to be prosperous, to be winners in life. And of course, we're gonna motivate each other. That's fine. You gotta motivate each other, encourage each other, but encourage yourself. Like the song said, encourage yourself, speak over yourself, encourage yourself in the Lord also. You know, and like I said, I started just for a split second, started getting down, and then when you have to depend on people to carry you around, you know, listen, I've always been independent. Even before I was driving, there was nothing for me to walk from one side of town to another. Where I live, there's no buses around here, but I can walk and get to, where I need to go. I don't have to depend on, anybody to ride me around. And yeah, I do have a ride around. Don't think that I'm just sitting here and we got a car, but my girlfriend, she's sick, and she does home dialysis, and you know I would want her to be taking me around, every all the time. I have to kind of, when allowing her to help me, I have to consider the sickness that she has also. But here's the thing: I got YouTube. I got channels that I have to maintain, and things I want to do. I want to be able to get out and not always be in the house all the time. Shooting from inside the house. I want to be able to get out and show y'all some stuff, live a little. So I'm just making the steps now to try to, establish myself where I'm at now until I can get to the point where I can get those glasses and go back and take my tests and stuff over and get back on the road. I'm not going to take this as a loss. It's a little bit sad, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll be back. I'll be back on the road. You know, the other day, just by habit, we usually have a good parking space in front of our door, and I went out there to get in the car because somebody had parked in our space. And I went out there just by habit and jumped in the car. Was about to move the car over into our good parking space, and I caught myself like, "Oh shoot, man, what you doing? You can't be driving." So just get in the habit because I've been driving for years, and I never let nobody stop me from going where I need to go. Like if I wanted to go somewhere, I just hop in the car and go. So now I think I may just, for the time being, invest in a bike. I go back to old school. Get me a bike. That'll get me around a little bit faster than walking, and go from there. But today is a nice day. I just decided to come out and walk. It's sunny, but it's got a nice, good breeze blowing out here. So it's all good. Only thing about being out here, I can't see all of y'all comments. A lot of y'all know that I'm visually impaired, and the glasses here, they just for front. I like them because they got a little bit of they transition, so they tint up a little bit outside, but other than that, I can't really see out of them because my vision is already at max. After I had my surgery, my vision has been corrected and is actually better than what it was before the surgery. But problem is that they changed the laws and stuff like that and the rules as far as getting your driver's license, where it was a little bit different when I first started out. So, but it's okay. But I hope everybody having a good day today. um like I said, I don't know, service seemed pretty good for YouTube. I don't know what happened with TikTok. It was real spotty and messed up. I didn't think I was going to even be able to film out here. But I appreciate y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all always coming through. um I hope that that my stories can be of encouragement, to other people. I'm not saying to be selfish or to go around be mean or nothing like that. I'm saying to consider yourself more. You can help people as much as you can help them, but don't let it be at the expense of neglecting yourself. You know, and for the young people, you know, I try to encourage them. Like I know nowadays, well, not nowadays, because even when I was young, like fashions and stuff like that is in. Everybody got to go get the newest this and the best that. But I would say invest in yourself, invest in your future. When you buying those high price items, you invested in somebody else's future. And it's okay sometimes, but sometimes more than others, other times, invest in yourself, invest in your future. You know, like I said, me personally, I invested. I did a lot of investing in other people's future, and I want y'all to take time to invest in your own future. You know, but I hadn't really did but one thing this week, so I just wanted to come out here. I don't know if y'all can hear the air. It's a nice breeze under here. The last time I was here, they didn't have these tables over here. They put these tables under here, I guess, where the parents can sit. Let me see if I can turn you around. The parents can sit over here in the shade. My kids is over there at the playground. They don't have to sit out there in the heat. The kids, they go and play. They don't care. They'll play on them hot monkey bars and corridor. But the parents usually have to suffer. We can sit over here. I'm saying we. I don't have no little kids. But if my grandson come down, I could sit over here and watch them play over there on the swings and stuff over there. Not the swings, but the sliding board and stuff. You know. But either way, I just wanted to hit y'all with a quick message. Like I said, I appreciate y'all. Y'all always coming through, always being supportive. Um, I'm going to try when I get home to do some exercises, but I'm gonna go on. Make sure y'all follow me over on TikTok. It's Next Level J on TikTok also. I'm gonna try to get over there and get some exercise in. And the reason why I'm going to do that instead of here because I want to be able to play some music also where I can really get my feel on, you know. So I may come back tonight and do some exercise over there. And so I'll post something up and let y'all know what's going on so y'all can keep up with me. And I hope for yourself, you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your health. Make sure you maintain yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically, you know, because, you know, without you, there's a lot of people that's looking to see you, looking to have you in their lives. But if you're not taking care of yourself and you wind up all messed up, you're not going to be no good for nobody else. So make sure you take care of yourself first, and you know, then try to, you know, do what you can for others. Yeah, but I'm about to get on up out of here. Y'all about to walk on back down. I would take y'all with me, but I don't know what the service gonna be like walking back down. But let's see, let me take, just to make it a complete video, I'm gonna take one more lap around this and kind of show y'all. Matter of fact, I'm kind of show y'all the way. I'll talk to you and just kind of, hold up, wait a minute, what's going on? What did I do? I hit the wrong